Okay, I want to go back and review the key terminology when it comes to the control of microbial growth. I'll kind of go through the ones here and then maybe add a few things here or there. The first term is sterilization. You see the term sterilization, the key here is all forms of microbial life. So a sterilizing agent kills everything, and that includes vegetative pathogens. Their spores should be killed as well, viruses, fungi, etc. So usually, in order to sterilize something, you primarily are going to use an autoclave, which would be steam under pressure, or a sterilizing gas. The example we used of a sterilizing gas would be ethylene oxide. There are other things that can reach Sorry, I hit pause there. There are other things that can reach sterilization, but of course, when you're talking about using a flame for a Bunsen burner, obviously it's not going to be very good as an antiseptic, and so we said sterilizing gas. There are sterilizing liquids as well, like glute or aldehyde, but of course can't be used on living tissue either. Alright, so that's going to be what the term sterilization means. You can kill all bacterial life. Commercial sterilization is not a form of sterilization. So commercial sterilization is you add just enough heat to kill the Clostridium botulinum endospores, the cause of botulism. So that's going to use just enough heat to do that and hopefully not change your food too much. But as you can see here, more resistant endospores, the thermophilic bacteria, their spores can survive this heat treatment. But notice what it says here. They will not germinate and grow under normal storage conditions. So the best way to keep your canned goods safe is to keep them stored in a cool container. So a thermophilic spore will survive the treatment of commercial sterilization, but unless you let it sit around at too high of a temperature, they won't germinate or cause any problems. So don't let your canned goods get too warm. Don't let them sit somewhere where it's really hot. Okay, that's commercial sterilization, which is not sterilization. The two most important words here are disinfection versus antisepsis. Disinfection is when you destroy vegetative pathogens on a surface. Remember, vegetative means actively reproducing. So you're destroying vegetative pathogens on a surface. And we're going to talk a lot of physical and chemical control methods in these videos. Whereas antisepsis or antiseptics are used to kill vegetative pathogens on living tissue, so which would primarily mean your skin or your mucous membranes. So that's the key difference between disinfection and antisepsis. Next we have degerming. Degerming can be done by chemicals, but when I talk about degerming, I'm talking about the physical or mechanical removal of microbes. So washing your hands is primarily a degerming act. When you use an alcohol wipe to remove bacteria in an injection site, that's going to also be degerming. Then lastly here you have sanitization. Sanitization is primarily, it's a public health word, and what that means is it's not sterilizing. You're not killing all microbial life. You're lowering microbial counts to a safe level on eating and drinking utensils. So you can use like an autoclave basically. So a lot of restaurants now basically use high temperature washing. So kind of like their version of an autoclave, or they can be used like in disinfectants. When I was a kid, my parents owned a place, and you would soak the dishes, then wash them with soap and water. You then rinse them off, and then you put them in a chemical disinfectant. So a sanitizer basically. So all right. So those are some basic terms when it comes to control of microbial growth. Other terms that I'll be using in this series of videos, anytime you see something with a side ending, C-I-D-E, so like a biocide kills microorganisms, a germicide would as well. Remember, a germ just is an actively reproducing cell. Virucide would kill viruses even though they're not alive. Something that's bactericidal would kill bacteria. So the side ending means to kill. Another term, though, would be bacteriostasis. Stasis means to inhibit, or the term actually means stat. But so bacteriostasis or a bacteriostat only inhibits the growth of something, doesn't actually kill them. All right, so those are all the primary terms you ought to know for the control of microbial growth.